What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Advanced Training Techniques. And today we're going to be talking about the squat. Now, the squat, we've all been told, is the king of all muscle builders when we're talking about building our quads and hamstrings and glutes. And this is true as long as we focus on good techniques. So today we're going to talk about things to avoid, common mistakes or bad form, and some tips on how to do them the right way. So first things first, let's jump into proper body alignment. That's where I see a lot of mistakes in the gym. So we're going to talk about our body alignment from the ground up, starting with our feet. Throw the bar on my shoulders. You see all sorts of different foot position. You see some people with their feet narrower. You see shoulder width, which is a common one. Or sometimes you'll see some guy on YouTube squatting 600 pounds and his feet are really wide and his toes are turned out. And you say, hey, if the guy knows how to squat 600 pounds, then maybe he's doing it right. Well, here's the one thing that you want to keep in mind. There's a difference between squatting for power and squatting to build muscle. So feet nice and wide, toes turned out, it's a very powerful position. But for focusing on building muscle, we're going to go ahead and bring our feet to about shoulder width apart, toes turned out just slightly. So moving up to knees. You may have heard the saying, don't let your knees go over your toes, which would look like this. As I squat down, you can see that my knees are a couple inches out in front of my toes. You want to avoid this. So how do you do that? Well, moving up to hips, or more specifically butt, we want to get your butt backwards. The reason that your knees are coming out over your toes is because you're squatting straight down. Maybe you're afraid that you're going to feel like you're going to fall backwards, and that's a common fear when you first start squatting, is that with some weight on your back that you're going to tip over backwards. What you want to do as you go down is drop your butt straight back, and you can see now that my knees are right over my toes. So that's hips. Now the next thing, moving up to shoulders. First thing is the bar itself. I see a lot of people with his bar nice and high and sitting on the back of their neck. You don't want to do that. You want to let that bar roll back just a little bit across your back, across your traps and your shoulders. It's nice and comfortable right there. So focus on keeping it right about there. Next thing, head. Remember that wherever you look, your body's going to follow. If I look forward, my shoulders are going to come forward. We want to focus on keeping our torso nice and upright. So to do that, you got to keep your chin up. I suggest finding a spot on the wall and keep your eyes fixed there the whole time. So with our chin up, that's going to keep our torso nice and upright. Initiate the movement by dropping our butt backwards and press straight up. You see a lot of people, when they squat, they'll come forward like this, and that puts a lot of unnecessary stress on their back, and then initiating the movement with their back instead of their legs. So you want to make sure that as you come down, drive through the heels, and that's going to initiate the movement, not with your back. Now, speaking of posture, one of the easiest ways that I show people how to squat the right way is a really simple trick. No weight, no bar. I want you to stick your hands straight over your head like this, and then squat down. Now you can see that your torso stays nice and upright. Now this is a good way to check your torso, because if you find your hands coming out in front of you like this, you're leaning too far forward. So again, you got to keep your hands above your head. It's going to force you to arch your back slightly, chin up, and drive up through the heels. Now that's why a lot of people do a front squat. If I grab the bar, you're going to go ahead and rest the bar right across the front of your shoulders. This is the most common position right here. Same thing, chin up, torso upright, and drop your butt backwards. Now this forces you to stay nice and upright, because if I lean forward, the bar is going to roll off my shoulders. So it makes you keep your torso nice and upright. A lot of people also like this exercise because it focuses on your quads a little bit more. So I'm going to leave you with one last tip. I see a lot of people that train in just a half range of motion like this. And some people say, well, hey, they're missing the full range of motion. They're not coming all the way down to at least parallel. Now this is true. So there's actually two different ways to look at this. your quads are very strong in this upper range of motion right here. And you see a lot of bodybuilders training like this, and that's because their quads can handle that weight and they can really challenge their quads there. The problem is when you get down lower here, you're much weaker. So here's a little tip that I like to do. I actually break my squats up into 2 different ranges of motion. So I'll go lighter and I'll do half reps from the bottom halfway up. So a weight that I can manage that's challenging here at the bottom half, and then I'll put more weight on and I'll do the upper half of the range of motion where I'm stronger. A lot of bodybuilders you'll see just training in this upper range of the motion. The problem is you get to really work your quads by doing that. You're challenging them, but you're not working your glutes and your hamstrings as much as you should be. The glutes and the hamstrings are going to get activated when you come down nice and low. So that's why I really like to break the 2 up. So that's a really simple tip. And by using lighter weight in the range of motion that you can handle, you're apt to use better form. So those are my tips. Proper body alignment. Start with the toes, focus on the knees, drop the butt back, keep your torso upright, keep your chin up. Don't put the bar on your neck, make sure it's across your back, and make sure that you use a weight in the range of motion that you can handle. So those are some simple tips to improve your squat. And I'll see you guys next time.